Ready to get? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our City Council meeting. We appreciate you having you in the chambers and are grateful to see you here. We're here to conduct the business of the city, and we have posted the agenda in all the necessary spots, and we will proceed as follows. So we will start with a public hearing. We will receive public comment regarding proposed pressurized irrigation fee schedule. If anyone has comments they would love to cover at this time, now is your opportunity to come forward to the mic. When you do so, please state your name. Try to limit your time to 2 minutes. Mr. Royce Shelley.
Royce Shelley, just wanted to express appreciation to the council for addressing this 6 months before it becomes effective. Thank you. The citizens can plan based on that. I also want to express appreciation to the council and to the city for the dashboard that is now available. It has been tremendously helpful to me in understanding my water usage and planning for next year. With reference to the proposed rate schedule, having looked at it, I find it reasonable. I think it's fair and would personally encourage the council to go ahead and get that in place so that the citizens do have a solid base to work from as they plan for the future. The one part that is still outstanding and I'm very concerned about are the shareholder agreements for those who are shareholders under this new system. They have not been addressed yet. We need them addressed soon, being as this starts apparently in January of 2027. Things that I think need addressed are the ideas of base rates. Speaking with some on the council, they have proposed imposing a base rate. I find that we have 19 years of precedent on what that agreement with the city was with the shareholders, and the 19 years has been zero cost for those shareholders who are able to assign 50% of the water to the city so that they can use the other 50%. I would love to see that remain in force as per the original agreement. The process of signing properties, I've got a request in as of last November that I'm not sure has been completed yet. I know other shareholders who have gone to the city and no one's been able to help them because that agreement isn't in place yet. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you listening.
Thank you very much, Royce. Appreciate that. Royce mentioned one thing that is probably of interest to those who are citizens of American Fork, and that is the dashboard that will help you understand your current water rate, what your water rate will look like under the new system, and give you a lot of insight that way. You can get on our website, check out those things if you have not received that text. It's a simple process. There's an instructional video that you can go through. It's extremely handy and helpful to be able to look at that and kind of lay out what's happening with the new water system that almost every city in our great state is going to deal with. So that is available for all of you American Fork residents. Are there any other comments? Rob Shelton.
And you guys look really good in those seats. That's all I got to say to begin with. But just to start off with on the water rates, again, love the dashboard. It was so great to be able to see that. However, I worry about the base rates based on lot size. It really does a lot to disincentivize someone to conserve water. For instance, in my home, we did a major landscaping improvement, artificial turf in a lot of areas that weren't being used. We worked with Utah Water Conservancy District, and estimates are we saved about 600,000 gallons of water in a year with the plants and the drip systems and things that we did. However, based just on my lot size, I will never be able to conserve enough. The water I use is far less than the base rate that I pay. So there is no real incentive for me to continue to conserve beyond the lot size of where that is at. When we look at culinary water, we don't look at the home size to base it off of, we look at the water line connection. And if you have a 2-bedroom home, but you like to fill your bathtub up every night, you're going to pay for that water, and it's the same across the board. I would just say maybe take a look at that. Maybe there's an exception to look at. I know Ernie and I, Councilmember John and I have talked about this a few times, that perhaps there's a way to look at the hardscaping or areas that aren't sprinklered to reduce that, but I didn't see that in the proposal anywhere, and I'd ask for that to be a consideration. I will mention, very grateful for the alert system. We went out of town and out of the country, and I got a phone call that my son had left the hose on. We have a, hand sprayer on it, and the hose sprung a leak. I didn't realize it was on, and we got a call from the city and had a family member go turn it off. So I'm really grateful for the technology that was there. So if you do look at my water meter, it's going to be off by a lot because of the 2 days that was running. But if we wanted to, I'd love to sit down and talk further about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Please state your name, sir.
Yeah, I'm Robert Nelson. I'm Vice President of the Temple Ridge Estates Homeowners Association. We have about 29 private homes on about 2.25 pervious acres, so we do use some water. This has been very challenging for us. Not all your fault, not all our fault. The developer, when they installed the pressurized irrigation system in the area, they connected up private connection points to areas that are watered by the homeowners or the homeowner property, and that's caused some issues. We've been trying to work with the city on this for over a year now. We're not getting the information we need. The site that you said is available is not working for us. We have 2 meters on there. Only 1 meter is showing up. It's showing up as the lower size for the lower sized property, but it's connected up to the meter that has the more water, and so it's showing our rates going up considerably, of course, because it thinks that we're on a lower property using a lot of water. Apparently the city needs to do another water mapping for our area. I don't know what the status is on that, to kind of combine some things, but I really like to understand things a little bit better and how the costs will be affected there. There's several questions I have. What happens when you have multiple meters? Are they combined reading, for example? Are they individual? How are the light sizes calculated? How are public right-of-ways, the area of public right-of-ways, are they calculated into that, or are they? Is there a charge per meter? I've done my best to estimate the rolls with the flow rates and lot sizes, and I'm showing a 27% increase next year and up to an 89% increase up to 2030, which is a lot. And I'm a little bit concerned about that. There's some things, landscaping, there's some things that are getting us the way. The landscaping permit, there's a $500 charge for that. We're required to get a full architectural drawing for that, and it's just additional cost for that. Additionally, even at $5 a square foot, that's almost $400,000 for us. So there's costs beyond this that are a concern. Thank you.
Mr. Nelson, have you left your number or signed up so we can
I'll
have
do
someone
that.
reach out to you?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
I'm kind of new at this. It's good to be here. It's nice to meet all of you.
Could you please state your name, sir?
Yes, Rick Moultrie, 725 North, 540 West.
Thank you.
All I have to say at this meeting is, why the big hurry? I don't quite understand. If the legislature gives us until 2030, why are we moving so quickly? And isn't there time to review the Yopify and understand how I can cut back so that my rates are in accordance with being able to save money and save water? And that's one of my big concern is that this is all moving very quickly, and I would encourage that to be slowed down a bit because we do have time, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay. Thank you very much. Oh,
We just don't want to
So we'll leave that for the second part was we get into our city council meeting, we'll have that. Okay, thank you. Well, we will close our public hearing and we will go into our regularly scheduled city council meeting. I would like to mention that the mayor has a family matter and is unable to be here this evening, and so I am Clark Taylor. I'm the mayor pro tem, and I will be doing my best to conduct the affairs of this meeting, so I appreciate your patience. We will start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I will lead the crowd in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we will have roll call and then invocation by Councilmember Ernie John, and then we will have a roll call.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father in heaven, as we come before you this evening, we are grateful for the opportunity we have to participate in our local government. Father, we're grateful for the residents and citizens that have come to voice their concerns. We're grateful for the country that we live in, and we ask that Thou would bless our military, bless our first responders, keep them safe from harm. We're grateful for all the things that they do for our city and for them putting their lives on the line every day. Father, we're grateful for our city staff, for the hard work that they put in, and we ask that Thou would bless them, that they might continue to serve our residents. Father, we're grateful for our residents, for them coming out and supporting us and voicing their concerns. We're grateful for the opportunity of local government that we get to interact with each other. And Father, we pray that we might be able to interact this evening in a kind and fair manner. And we ask that as we make these decisions, that Thou would guide us, that we might make fair and honest decisions in the work of the city. These things we ask for in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilmember John. We'll now proceed with the roll call. Councilmember Carroll.
Here.
Councilmember John.
Here.
Councilmember Holly.
Here.
Councilmember Taylor, I'm here. Councilmember Hunter. Here. Thank you. Okay, we will now proceed to our public comment period, which is 20 minutes that we set aside for people to be able to come up and express some concerns or issues that they would like to address. We would ask you to please keep your comments to 20 minutes. I have got, 22 minutes. Yeah, please don't keep them to 20 minutes. That's, sorry about that. 2 minutes. And please state your name when you get here. We will start off. I've got a list of people who have filled out some sheets asking for time to address some issues, and then we will go just down the list, and if there are any others in time remaining, we will cover them at that time. So the first one, we will have Rita Law come forward, please.
Before my time, just a moment, I am also again speaking on behalf of many other parents some of which could not be here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hold it? Is this?
No, you can just set it right there.
Is that better? Okay. We appreciate the city's efforts to improve our community and invest in our recreation center. We understand the proposed tax increase is expected to generate approximately $660,000 in additional annual revenue. We are fortunate to have a recreation center that has served our families and community for many years. We recognize the facility is in need of important maintenance, including mechanical repairs, crucial work related to the pool, and repairs to the roof. These improvements are necessary and should be addressed. However, they should not come at the expense of programs that are already providing significant value to both residents and the city's finances. We request that any recreation center improvement plan include protections for the programs operating in the gymnasium, particularly gymnastics and the other youth indoor sports programs. The 50 competitive gymnasts each pay 4 times a full family membership in tuition directly to the city and alone bring in over $100,000 each year while covering their own uniform and competition fees. All of the other gymnastics and children and youth indoor sports also pay considerable tuition not included in memberships or daily use fees. Collectively, these programs generate over $600,000 in annual revenue and do not require any funding while contributing to our city budget. We simply ask for assurance that they will be able to continue operating at their current capacity. As noted in the council's May 22nd public notice, plans are being considered to repurpose the gymnasium. If that repurposing displaces programs that depend on the gym's unique features, nearly all of those programs will have no alternative space. Losing them would eliminate at minimum 50% of the revenue they currently generate, offsetting a substantial portion of the financial benefit expected from the tax increase. Even more so if the plan does not accommodate families, it's still the primary demographic of American Fork. They will not buy family memberships, especially at a time when necessary maintenance on the pool will likely require a lengthy closure, resulting in additional revenue and inevitable membership attrition, as many patrons choose not to renew during a prolonged closure. We ask the council to ensure that necessary facility improvements preserve the space needed for the gymnastics and associated to continue serving our community and contributing to the recreation center's long-term financial sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard, appreciate that. And we will just go right down the list here. Lena Law? Hope I pronounced that right. Are you okay? Good.
Hi, my name is Lena Law, and I am a 2-time state all-around champion gymnast on the Utah Twisters gymnastics competition team. I started in the rec itty-bitty ball at a young age. Then when I turned 6, I joined gymnastics, which is where I learned to love the sport. These classes not only helped me do something active, but have given me amazing friends. I have a dream and goal of becoming a college gymnast. The rec gives me the skills to be on track for that goal. Without this program, there are no other affordable places for families like mine. If the program ends after the summer, there are no team that will take us because teams are already set and decided. Taking a year off would mean starting over from the beginning and from an older age, which could mean never pursuing the dream of college gymnastics. My life would never be the same without this program. Gymnastics has taught me to work hard and get up when I fall down, whether that's at gym, at home, or at school. It has made me mentally and physically strong and given me the kind of strength that doesn't come from sitting behind a screen or sitting on the couch. I ask you, save the Rec Center programs because it has taught me to be active and healthy and build lasting friendships with teammates. It has given me a dream and a purpose in my life. It has given my family an affordable way to support me through this career I have chosen. Without it, I would not be the physically, mentally, and emotionally strong, hardworking person you see standing in front of you here today. Through this program, I can continue to pursue my goal of being a college gymnast and growing myself every day to become a better daughter, sister, gymnast, teammate, friend, and member of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Lena. Okay, we will continue to just go in order as we have signed up. Olivia Hunsaker.
My name is Olivia, and I am 12 years old. I am here tonight because gymnastics has been a huge part of my life. I started gymnastics when I was 6 years old. Back then, I was very shy and quiet. I was afraid to speak in front of people, and I didn't have much confidence in myself. Throughout gymnastics, I learned how to work hard, set goals, and believe in what I can do. Over the years, gymnastics has helped me become a completely different person. Tonight, I am more outgoing, confident, and willing to try new things. The lesson I have learned in the gym have helped me at school, with friends, and in everyday life. I have worked very hard and have been blessed with success. I am a Western Regional Champion and a 2-time state silver medalist and a Utah Summer Games silver medalist. None of those accomplishments would have been possible without this program and the coaches who have invested their time and energy into helping me and so many other kids. But this program is about much more than medals. It gives kids a place to learn discipline, confidence, teamwork, and perseverance. It gives us goals to work toward and a positive environment where we can grow. If this program is eliminated, future kids may never get the same opportunity that I had. They may never discover how strong, capable, and confident they can become. I am asking you to please consider what this program means to the children and the families in our community before making this your decision. Thank you for your time and listening to me tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Olivia. Chantel?
I hate this. Okay. Good evening, members of the council. My name is Chantel Hunziker, and I am here to speak on a matter that defends the heartbeat of the community, our gymnastics program. I urge you to maintain full funding and availability for these programs. They are not merely extracurricular, they are essential public services. We often talk about public health in terms of clinics and hospitals, but health begins in our gymnastic meets. In an era where physical inactivity is a rising crisis, rec sports provide an accessible, low-cost way for our youth to build foundation, strength, and coordination. Beyond physical fitness, gymnastics instills a unique sense of discipline. This program offers our youth a sense of belonging, a release for stress, and a constructive environment where they learn resilience, teamwork, and the focus required to master complex skills. Gymnastics also serves as a vital social equality for many families who can't afford the staggering cost of private competitive clubs. City-ran programs are the only option. They ensure that every child, regardless of their zip code, has a safe place to train and grow after school. When we look at the budget, it is easy to see these programs as a line item that can be trimmed or moved to the basement. But as I ask you to view them as an investment in our community and our youth. Please, let's keep our community active, our families connected, and our gym open. Let's ensure American Fork Rec Center remains a place where all residents have the opportunity to play. Thank you for your time and your service.
Thank you, Chantel. Alice Ta'ali, did I pronounce that right?
Not even close.
Okay, thank you. Could tell me, please.
Tauali'i.
Tauali'i.
Yes.
I will now. Alice, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I am Alice Tauali'i, and I am reading for my 18-year-old sister, Jocelyn Tauali'i. I have been a part of the Twisters program here at the American Fork Fitness Center for the past 9 years. I started in the rec program when I was 8 years old, and after a year of blizzards, I moved up to team. Team taught me so many life lessons that have genuinely shaped me to be who I am today. This program taught me how to endure hardships and keep pushing when it gets tough. It taught me the importance of teamwork and being there for others that I've seen translate into my life at school and work. Being on the team created lifelong friendships with people I would have never met otherwise. When I turned 15, I was finally able to make my dream a reality by becoming a gymnastics coach. Since I was still in gymnastics at the time, that experience taught me how to balance a busy schedule. The reason I became a gymnastics coach was because I wanted to make a difference in these little girls' lives, like many of my coaches had. I wanted to take all the characteristics of my favorite coaches and make sure the gymnasts knew I was someone who would always support them. Please do all you can do to prevent these programs from being shut down. I have seen the way they have affected so many people's lives, and I don't want to see those opportunities taken away from both young athletes and coaches. Please take my requests into consideration. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Alice. We'll now hear from Corina Tauali'i.
Okay, much better. Good job.
She's got to teach me once.
My name's Corina Tauali'i. I have had 3 daughters take part in the gymnastics program at the American Fork Rec Center, the oldest of whom competed with Twisters for 6 years and is now a coach, and you just heard her statement read by her younger sister, who is also part of the Twisters team. The coaches, parents, and girls have been part of our family for 9 years now. My girls have all learned much more than just some impressive skills on a piece of equipment. They've learned to get up when they fall. They've learned just how important it is to believe in themselves, because if they don't, the risk of injury is much higher. They've learned endurance and how to keep going when something gets extra hard. They've learned to cheer and lift their teammates when one has a bad day. They've also learned to celebrate each other's wins. I watched this year as one of the girls got a 10.0, which I have never seen in 9 years of competition, and the entire team, coaches and parents, all cried along with her tears of joy. They've learned there are adults outside of our family who truly care about them. Anyone with kids in competitive sports knows the price tag isn't cheap, and gymnastics is no exception. For our family, American Fork Rec Center is the only way my girls could participate, because we would not be able to afford anywhere else. We pay thousands of dollars per child who is in this program every year, and we are not from American Fork. We are bringing this money into the city. If this program is scrapped, my youngest daughter will no longer be able to do gymnastics and will be heartbroken, because we cannot afford another location. I ask that you, as the City Council, find a way to tie the new rec center funds to the gymnastics and other kids' programming, so that the management at the rec center will not be able to cut them. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Robert Shelton.
Man, full name.
No matching uniform, Rob?
No matching uniform? Left it at home. I will say this, I appreciate your service. 12 years of sitting in the same chairs you guys are sitting in. I can have a lot of empathy for the budget session and the season of what that is. My comments tonight are on that budget. I watched the special session last week, and there were some comments made that I felt like I wanted to be able just to address, and that is that we're increasing the level of service for our firefighters. And I don't believe that statement to be truly accurate. We have an ISO rating that's done in a study in our city that says this is the level of service our firefighters are going to provide across our city, and it's a plan. And part of that plan is a third station on the south end, and to be able to fund that. The problem with our budget in the past has been that we take new tax increment from the growth and we use it to fund other projects and don't set it aside for future public safety. Then when public safety increases come, what was intended by the state to be used as growth to fund the essential necessary elements become the political pawn to be used to be say, hey, we have to have public safety. I just got back in town, as I mentioned, being out of the country, so I apologize. I missed most of the public comment periods, and the open house, the tentative budget wasn't available online prior to that to be able to give comment on. But in the quick minute that I had, or a few minutes last night, found over $600,000 of expenditures of increase of service in the last 4 years. That is truly the increase. Those areas are economic development funds, sidewalk improvement funds, Christmas decorations, part-time communications, and the list could go on, and I'd be happy to sit down and collaborate. I would hope the city would be more transparent and hopefully honest, that really is what the tax increase is for. It's not for the firefighters. If we're really doing zero-based funding and we're looking at the essential services, I don't get how we put Christmas decorations, part-time communications, economic development ahead of public safety. And so I just hope that would be what's looked at. The but-for statement that if we don't raise property taxes, I hope it's not at the risk of not supporting our firefighters. These other items I would say would be less important. Not important, but that's the tough job that you all have. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Rob. Okay, those are all the names that I have on the list. Are there any other folks that would like to address the city council? Yes, ma'am. Please come forward. Yes.
Before any of the rec center decisions get set in stone, we obviously have a lot of people who care so much about the rec center and the programs that we don't want them to lose. My name's Michelle Anderson. I'm sorry. I heard someone a couple of weeks ago say they wanted a basketball court. I just want to say we have an outdoor court at Miller Park. We have them at Rotary Park. We have them at Martin Park. They're not the greatest. They could use an upgrade. We also have the schools. They have gyms and they have basketball courts. When we got the basketball court at the rec center, I just want you to know that thing sat empty a lot of the time. And think of all the revenue that it has now because of the programs that have been placed in there. And to remove those or to downsize them, make them a skeleton crew, you're hurting the programs. And mothers, I work there. I don't work in gymnastics, I work in the daycare. Mothers come and it's just so amazing. These programs are so amazing. We can reach out and use our other assets in the community, the gyms at the high school, the junior high. We can use the ones outdoor. We can fix up the basketball courts that are outdoors. We could have lights and we could have tournaments there. We don't have to use the gymnasium at the rec center for those that'll sit empty again. That's why it's filled with gymnastics things and itty bitty and all kinds of great things. And I just want to invite all of you on this committee, everyone here, please come to the rec center and come and see what we have. And you tell us why we should lose that. Why should we lose such a great thing? That's why we're here to stick up for these kids. They need an advocate. I feel like we have to save the clock tower, save the school, save the gymnasium, save the gymnastics program. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other folks that would like to take time? Rod?
Evening, Rod Martin. I'm the chair of the American Fork Chamber of Commerce this year and a business owner in American Fork. I'll save that for the end if I have time. On behalf of the American Fork Chamber of Commerce, I want to express our sincere appreciation for the partnership that has existed between the city and the chamber in organizing and delivering Steel Days over the past several years. We are grateful to those city leaders and staff members who placed their trust in the chamber to carry out this important community celebration that is expanding lots of new activities this year alone. The fish grab is back.
Nice.
That trust has produced positive results through the support of local businesses, volunteers, sponsors, city staff, and countless community members. Steel Days has continued to grow and provide high-quality events that bring residents together, strengthen community pride, and support our local economy. We are confident that the Chamber of Commerce can continue to successfully deliver these events and build on that success in the years ahead. We also recognize the importance of maintaining public confidence in the process, and the Chamber supports clear safeguards and appropriate guardrails whenever an elected official may also have a professional relationship with the Chamber. In such situations, recusal from contract discussions, negotiations, or related decision-making is appropriate to ensure transparency, avoid conflicts of interest, and maintain public trust. While there may be occasionally differing opinions regarding the Chamber's role, the overwhelming support we receive from the business community, many city leaders, volunteers, sponsors, and residents demonstrates the value of this partnership and the positive impact it continues to have on American Fork. And on a personal note, our officers deal with the worst of the worst. I'm talking about our police department. They deal with liars, thieves, abusers, rapists, and the like all day long. I ask that they be given grace.
Our own royalty.
Hi, I'm Whitney. First of all, I want to thank you guys. This Saturday marks the end of my year of service, and it has truly been incredible, and it has changed me and helped me to grow so much, and I thank you for all your guys' support. I also attribute a big part of my love of American Fork and the opportunities that have gotten me here to the Twisters Gymnastics program. So I want to also comment to the protection of the upper competitive levels and keeping them upstairs. I did gymnastics for 8 years at Twisters, and then I coached there for years after that, and I still coach gymnastics all the time, and I still keep those connections in that community, and I actually am having a Twisters reunion this summer, and I absolutely love the girls and the coaches and the mentors that I've met there. But it's also Twisters that got me onto the American Fork High School drill team. Similar to what has been said, the gymnastics program was affordable and accessible, and I wouldn't have had those opportunities anywhere else, but I was able to gain the tricks and skills necessary to make the high school's drill team, and then also attribute to my dance that I did for the AF pageants competition and to my talent. And so this program truly has changed my life, and it's taught me how to work hard and how to be part of a team, and really how to love American Fork. It embodied that community to me and that group of people that could come together to support each other. So I would also like to just offer and ask for protection of those programs, so they truly are life-changing, and that it's what American Fork is all about to me. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Whitney.
Hi, I'm Kennedy. I'm speaking for the Fitness Center programs, and for a little background information, I have done gymnastics for around 6 years and now coach the Storms Girls, which is the pre-team, and I sub for the rec and the team. I also work in the snack shack, selling food for the pool, and help with Princess Camp during the summer. I also get to help with the preschool during the school year due to my mom being one of the preschool teachers, so I'm very involved with all of the programs. My mom was a preschool teacher there, so a couple of years ago I decided that I wanted to help my mom in the class. Every Wednesday I would get out of school early and my dad would take me to the fitness center and I would be able to help. I had so much fun with the kids and I was able to help with all of their activities. One of the families became really good friends with my mom and asked if I would be willing to babysit one of the kids in the class and his 3 brothers. And then I also started coaching as a rec coach, and after a year I moved to the Storms and the team. There have been many girls that I've been able to see grow and improve through the rec and into Storms classes and up. Also, working in the snack shack, I get to see kids at the pool, and when they come say hi to me, it just makes my day. The fitness center has helped me grow and learn a lot of people skills, working and communicating with adults, kids my age, and even young kids. I would like to say how important this facility has been to me, not only when I was younger, but still is a big part of my life. And I would hate to see any of these programs shut down or moved.
Thank you.
Hi. I'm speaking in regards to one of the city comments in the last meeting. They said that they were listening to the community regarding the recent happens with police misconduct. And I want to thank the council for saying that and for committing to listening. In last Saturday, there was a protest held in the nearby park, and there was over 30 individuals who showed up in support. And I hope the city was listening to that too. As I hope the city was listening to the misconduct that happened when Ben Schneider visited American Fork investigating stolen Legos, when his Airbnb had a search warrant issued for the communication of stolen Legos. And the police were aware that he was there investigating stolen Legos. I also hope the city was listening in May of 2026 when the police threatened to break Aaron Booker's window at a stop that was wrong. I also hope that the city was listening in March of 2025 when the police at 10 p.m. pounded on Eric's door, demanding that he answer, which he did not have to. I also hope the city was listening when police barged into the Thropes house and assaulted the wife there. They have filed a lawsuit as of 2023. I also hope that the city was listening in April of 2020 when the police assaulted a man that was on his knees, broke his fingers, tased him, and bashed his head into the concrete. I hope that the city doesn't just listen, but also commits to change, because we have rights here. This is American Fork. We just don't do things differently. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your name? We didn't get your name.
Daniel Sroll.
I think we've reached the end of our public comment period. Thank you all for your time. We'll now proceed with our city administrator's report. David?
Thank you. I have just a couple of items. The Timpanogos Special Service District is doing a project on 1500 South where they are going to line an existing 60-inch pipe It's a slip lining project. So 1500 South will be closed. It actually closed yesterday, and it will be closed through July 31st. And that is so that they can bypass pump all of the sections of those pipelines as they clear out the pipeline and slip line it. So it's a pretty monumental project. So that'll happen through the end of July. And then at the beginning of July, Timpanogos Special Service District becomes Timpanogos Sanitary Sewer District. So
Still
it will,
TSSD.
yeah, it'll still be TSSD, but it will become an independent district and will not be associated underneath the umbrella of Utah County anymore. So that change is happening July 1. That's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. We'll now go into our council reports, city council reports. We will switch it up and start with Councilmember Carroll.
I have nothing to report tonight.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember John.
I want to talk a little bit about Ryan's favorite subject, water. We are now hitting the hard part of the year. If you looked up in the mountains, you see we don't have any snow. I want to publicly thank our residents for the conservation that they have shown. We're running about 50% of normal. They have done a phenomenal job. I'm grateful for everyone pitching in, and it's going to enable us to, with the resources we have, get through the year. And I just want to say that I'm grateful. As I was a little concerned going in this year because people get tired of hearing conserve, but our residents have stepped it up, and they've done a great job. And I want to thank our Public Works Department. They have done a great job in stretching what resources we have, and we're going to get through this year, but it's going to take us all together. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember John. Councilman Holly.
Maybe I'll mention a couple of things. I guess our beautification committee met last week, I think, and just talked a little bit about the Steel Day stuff. So going to do the garden tour again this year, and looking forward to that. I think that's Wednesday, so it's during the week, this time, instead of on the weekend. So and it's one day instead of 2 days. So make some time to go look at some of the nice yards that people have prepared for Steel Days in a couple of weeks. And then just talking about water stuff, although this isn't water per se, but it's just the conditions, and we were talking about that in our group conversation earlier. It's just, obviously, there are a lot of fires going on right now throughout the state of Utah. It's really bad. You walk outside and you can tell. So just be mindful, especially as we come up on the holidays, about how you're shooting off fireworks, what you're doing with campfires, especially up in the canyon where it's really dry, and I think that's where a lot of these happen. So just be mindful of the conditions and try and celebrate accordingly, but still celebrate this great country. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Holly. Councilman Hunter. Thank you, Councilmember Taylor. Couple things I wanted to mention. Steel Days is right around the corner. I don't think anybody remembers how quickly it goes and comes, but it will be here very soon. If you hadn't already purchased your early bird pricing as a resident of American Fork, the tickets are now $2 a piece. We were able to hold that for this year at $150, but it is $2 a piece now for anyone, but they will sell out if history proves to continue the way it has for several years. So go and get your tickets. There are a limited amount. I don't know that everybody knows that, but there are a limited amount, and once they are sold, I want to say it's 100,000 or something, but they generally do run out. So go get those. You can buy them at various stores. Get on Steel Days AF, and you can find the locations. So we're excited. As was mentioned earlier, there's a fair amount of cool programs, bringing back several different things. We've tried to have that be as we come back and bring back some of the old traditions of the past with the burnout and the fish grab and different things. I had a conversation unexpectedly last night with a nice lady in her, she's got to be certainly mid-60s or higher, but she was just giddy that we have the burnout back. And I thought, wow, I would never have guessed that. But she's like, I just love this smell. I was like, okay, well, there we go. So I was proud to say that was one that we kind of pushed for. So it's a lot of fun. We appreciate everybody that's putting in a lot of time and effort. There's a lot of staff resources that go into this in preparations. Coordinating that effort is a monumental task. And despite,
all of that, it goes off, seems like, every year without a hitch, and so we appreciate that. Appreciate the safety that comes with that. You have mass gatherings, and the first thing is to make sure that those are safe places that we can all gather, and so appreciate the efforts that are done there, so. That'll be my report for today.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilmember Hunter. I have nothing to report tonight, so we will go ahead and proceed into our common consent agenda. Tara Lynn, have there been any changes to the minutes or anything of note that we need to have?
No, we'll be pulled against that.
Okay, so we will strike that in your item number 2 will be pulled from the common consent agenda. Are there any questions? Having reviewed it, I'm sorry, if you're ready. Having reviewed it, I move to approve the common consent agenda.
Striking the June 2nd minutes?
Have a motion from Councilman Hunter, a second from Councilman John. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Aye. From Councilmember Taylor. Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we will now proceed into our regular action items. Action item number 1 is review and action on a resolution adopting the interim American Fork City budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027. Anna, the floor is yours.
Sorry. Okay, we are here to present the interim budget for fiscal year 2027. We had a public hearing on June 9th. We've met all statutory requirements, and it's before you to approve. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Go. Thank you, Anna, for what you've done. I appreciate the time and the quick effort over the last 7 days to be able to pull together honestly, some significant changes. So I hope you get a week off. I don't know what you get, but
at least an afternoon, Anna.
At least, yeah, please
take
at least take the Friday off that you're supposed to have been taking for the last 10 years.
And Saturday.
Yeah, and Saturday. Yeah.
Well, we all just like it, or does someone want to make a motion?
Just to clarify, if I may, this is an interim budget. It includes a property tax increase, which we will have a public hearing on August 11th to approve that proposed rate. At that time, we will adopt a final budget with that included or revised, depending on direction of council. We need to adopt a final budget before August 31st with that rate as approved or not. But again, this is an interim budget. It needs to be adopted by June 30 in order to be able to continue with services as of July 1.
Thank you.
I guess maybe my first question, and this is maybe my fault for not looking through this actual packet. Based off of our conversation that we had last week, did we make those changes in the budget? Those like one-off charges or anything that?
That's a great question, yeah. Based on what is adopted for the proposed rate on August 11th or before August 31st, those changes will be implemented. So this does not reflect anything based on discussion. It's just the interim budget with the proposed rate that was adopted or approved last week on the 16th.
Okay, so if we decide to not pass the property tax increase, the items that we discussed would be the ones that are cut?
Yes, it would be revised.
Okay.
So this is the interim budget, but no
that
money
what
will
you
be spent towards those things until after truce and taxation and after we have that firm vote on August 30th, or before August 30th.
Well, so I guess that's just to make sure I understand it. So the firefighters are going to be funded regardless. Is that correct then?
No, other than the amount set aside.
Because that's my point then.
The fire, sorry, actually, go ahead.
No, because that's my whole point is that.
The additional FTEs for fire will not be implemented until the truth and taxation hearing or
And
after.
so that's my bigger question, is that if we vote no on the property tax increase, then will we change the budget so the FTEs still get hired and we cut those items out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's just my point. So like regardless, the firefighters are getting paid for.
Well, that will be up to the
Correct,
city
yes.
council
Yeah, correct.
to determine,
We
right?
have to decide that with the truth and taxation and all of those things that we've discussed in the past week regarding the bid.
Well, I guess,
Operations as of this fiscal year will continue. This is what this budget does. So
Well-
nothing new will be added for fire until that rate is approved.
well, then I guess that's my personal opinion, is I would like to have the budget adjusted where the firefighters are hired effective July 1st, and if that's possible.
There's other issues being space, so I mean, we aren't ready to hire them regardless.
So we can't take out those line items that we discussed?
We can after the truth and taxation hearing.
They'll be kind of set aside and held. We're not going to spend those items that we previously discussed, no.
But the station, 5 through the temporary station is not ready
Can't hire
yet.
them on July 1st.
I guess I still want to make sure, I guess I want to make sure that they are going to get hired regardless. And right now,
That's
they're,
our prerogative, and I think the sentiment from my understanding from this group is that will happen.
but the budget doesn't say that. That's my issue. Is right now, the budget doesn't.
We control that. The 5 of us control 100% what that budget is.
That is currently in this budget.
Okay.
But we have truth and taxation on the 9th,
August 11th.
on the 11th, sorry.
Well, I don't know, because it says in the budget that we're voting on, it says that the property tax determines whether or not the firefighters get hired. So that's what the budget says that we're voting on.
Yeah.
So that's not, so that's why I'm saying, I prefer it for the budget to be adjusted where they are getting hired regardless, and then if the property tax doesn't get approved on, then these line items we talked about don't get approved in. Because right now, we're voting that the firefighters are only hired contingent on the property tax getting approved. That's what the budget says.
We take the directive as of the final budget, so at the truth and taxation hearing, your directive will move forward with what you approved.
I see what you're saying, Tim. I don't have any heartburn. Like Councilmember Hunter said, I don't think there's anyone here that doesn't want to see those people hired.
Frankly, whatever we choose to do in that hearing, it will override whatever's done in that hearing. Doesn't matter what's said in this hearing, frankly.
Yeah.
That's correct.
It is changed, or
We-
either ratified or changed in one way or another.
And that will be the final
At that
budget.
point.
The rate will be
Until it's
changed,
again.
or the rate will be nothing at all, and then that will be voted on, and then a final one will be voted on by the 30th.
This is reflective, the documentation you see is reflected of the new laws that were created over the last legislative session for how truth and taxation has to happen.
Yeah.
Frankly, Councilmember, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, please do.
Any part of the budget can be amended at any time.
Yeah. No, and I guess like maybe another point I've been thinking a lot about is because, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong again, because these are all things that we're kind of kicking down the road that we'll have to do next year. Is that correct? Like all these line items, like with the leases and the parks being redone and everything?
Any operational budget items, yes, will need to be.
Because I think that I still have a little bit of a heartache around some of the wage increases that are causing this situation. And I'll be honest, because I have a lot of time right now, I did actually some pretty extensive research on wage increases over the past few years, and I feel much more strongly, because if we still approve these wage increases that I have some issues with, that are some 10% plus wage increases, then those get built into the budget for next year, and we'll basically have to look at this next year to do a property tax increase. And so if we instead reduce some of these wage increases, and fund these line items, then we don't have to raise property tax next year like we're most likely going to anyway, if that makes sense. Because once you raise wages, unless you want to decrease wages next year, then those are built into the budget year after year. And that's where my other concern is that we're in effect just delaying a property tax increase, which in my very strong opinion, which I talked to most of you about, if instead we reduce some of the wage increases, then we wouldn't necessarily have to raise property taxes next year. And so that's where I have a lot of heartache. And as I said, I feel very uncomfortable giving some of these, what I think are pretty high wage increases of 10% plus, when that's holding the firefighters. It's kind of like Rob's point, is the firefighters should have been the first thing in the budget. That is the priority, in my opinion, is public safety. And public safety south of the highway on the lakeside is number one as well. And right now, the budget doesn't reflect that.
Well, the budget that's before us does reflect that, because it 100% says that we are hiring.
Well, no, because it's dependent, right now, the budget says that the firefighters getting hired are dependent on the tax increase.
Correct.
Which is not the priority. That's what I'm saying, that before any property tax increase, the firefighters should have been hired. That should have been the first thing in the budget, and it's not, because it's dependent on a tax increase.
I feel like it's semantics, or, I mean, you could also say that not funding our insurance policy should be priority one.
It shouldn't, though.
We shouldn't have an insurance
No,
policy?
I said
even
it
if we
shouldn't
have
be,
wage-
no, I said it shouldn't be priority one. You have one priority, and public safety is number one priority. I don't agree that, I don't disagree with insurance. I'm saying that public safety is number one.
I'm saying I don't think anyone here believes that we are holding hostage our public safety.
Well, I'm not saying hostage, but it's not the first priority if the tax increase, as we put in the budget, is based on whether or not they get hired. That's what, it says that in the budget.
So if the text was removed on this,
Yes, and if it was saying that the tax increase will fund economic development, hiring an accountant.
the tax increase can fund whatever we want. I'm
That's
saying
not what
it-
it says, though.
No, we have to.
That's not
what
true,
I'm
though.
asking. That's what I'm asking. So if it, I'm not saying it can, I misspoke. What I'm saying is if we change the verbiage to include whatever else you want
I
it to
agree,
cover.
yes, 100%.
Because my point is, we've all sat in meetings for the last 7 days to determine what we are going to cut out of this budget.
Yeah.
And I haven't talked to any of you between last week and now, so pardon me if I misunderstood. Well, I guess, Clark, you were in the meeting that I was in. But I haven't asked any of you, but my strong opinion is that there's nobody on this council who is not going to fund that fire department.
Well, I don't know that if it's not based off, because from last week's comments a week ago, it seemed like that was based off of property tax increase. There were people here who said that, yes, we will do the property tax increase to fund that. And that's what I'm saying, is that that's my whole point, is that the firefighters should be completely removed. And yes, I think the verbiage should be changed to say that the property tax increase will fund wage increases for these departments, will fund economic development or something like that. I don't think that's semantics at all, not even a little bit. I think that's what we're communicating to the residents. What is the priority? And by saying that, by telling the residents that the budget, that the firefighters will only be hired based off of a property tax increase, is telling them that they're not the priority. That's just like, and that's.
I disagree with that assessment, and I feel like, I'm sorry, because we're going to be rehashing everything that we've already hashed, but it's we're showing where we're increasing service, whereas before, the things that are already in the budget are the things that have been budgeted before in the past. So this is a different new line item, so we need a property tax increase to cover a part of it. And when you're talking about wage increases, I'd have to look at what you're looking at, but part of the wage increases have been a huge increase in the cost of our health insurance and other benefit costs. So looking at the whole staff, you have to make sure you're parsing out what it is. On top of that, we have a policy in our city that we won't go too far below other cities on wages, so that we're only getting the worst people or people that are relying only on loyalty to be here. We want to be partially competitive so that we are a functioning city. And that's how I see the wages.
So maybe I misunderstood you, Councilmember Carroll, but we do what's it called, zero base?
Zero-based budget.
So nothing was funded before. We started from scratch. So wage increases, every penny of wage increase was not budgeted before the firefighters. Nothing was. None of the economic development for $220,000, the 10% raise, the hiring of an accountant, none of that was budgeted before this budget, correct? Like it was just put in the budget this year.
It's a budget methodology, yes.
Yes.
But
So
we
that's-
still have those
so that's not an
commitments.
accurate statement. We started from scratch, and department by department, we said, what do you need, what do you need? And then we came up and said, this is how much money we have, this is how much we can spend. And then we said, oh, we also need 11 new firefighters, so because of that, we have to raise property taxes.
But the other
That's
employees are
disingenuous.
already hired. You're not gonna just not have them anymore. They're already part of your ongoing
But the wage
costs.
increases are not required, though. That's what I'm saying, is that the wage increase is not, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, I agree, you're not gonna go fire people, but if you give a penny wage increase, then that is something that you budgeted for this year. The economic development of $220,000 was not budgeted 5 years ago, it was budgeted this year because the development services requested it and we approved it. So everything in that is budgeted for this year, and that's my point, is that we should have put in the 11 firefighters this year first, then gone down the other $50 million, $40 million in the general fund and said, oh, we don't have enough money, but we still want to do development services. We still want to hire an accountant. We still want to hire an engineer. We still want to give the library staff 10% increase. That's fine. I'm not saying they don't do it, but that could be what the property tax goes towards, and that's what we could communicate to the residents. That's my whole point. That's my whole point.
So logistically, thanks, Tim. Logistically, if we were to make these verbiage changes, we would have to have a special session next Tuesday. Because this has to be voted, this interim budget has to be voted in by June 30th.
And you, correct me if I'm wrong, the way truth in taxation works, that's what we carved out. We would have to completely redo our truth in taxation requirements, correct?
No.
Unless we were going outside the number that we had already.
No,
Well,
we
we did.
would not have to redo the truth in taxation. That's where the final rate is approved. You can approve anything not exceeding that amount. So you can approve 9% or less or zero. At that point, we would then budget amend or revise the final budget to reflect those changes.
So, Tim, I get where you're coming from, okay? I think everybody understands where you're coming from. I don't know if that exercise tonight is going to make a difference, just based on the way we all feel about public safety and funding for those. But on August 11th, we can designate those changes and take care of those, pass that budget at that time with that verbiage. Whereas if we changed it tonight and said, Anna, please go back, make those changes, and then for our August, well, we would have to have a special session next Tuesday to vote, because we have to pass an interim budget by the 30th. And I'm saying, we could certainly do that, but I don't think, I think it's semantics, and I understand your point, but I think we can do the same exact thing without that extra discourse about, without gathering again and going to that. I think we can do that.
We can take your direction however you prefer to see it, based on the motion, and make sure that this interim budget is passed with that in mind.
So that's what I'm saying.
Public
We could do that.
safety being priority.
So that's what I'm saying. We could pass it tonight, say, hey, we were passing this with the tax increase, all that in there, but just say with the annotation that the property tax increase is to fund yada, 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 not the fire department.
I'm not ready to do that, I don't think.
And I think that's my point, is like, that's my issue, is that I am willing to make a point where everything's the same, but instead of saying it's towards the fire department, it's towards pay increases, economic development, and that's where I feel that it's not the council's decision, and that's where I start to have a heartache about the property tax increase too. And I really like to have the event, I wanted 5 people, but when we're not even willing to change the verbiage, because we can do everything right now, and change it to say it's not funding firefighters, it's funding these other items that we all talked about and I think agree on, then that's where I'm starting to worry, is that come August 11th, we'll be in this situation and not voting to get the firefighters out there, unless the property tax is increased.
Okay, so I'm just gonna, Heather, you jump in anytime you like, I hear.
I was
So
going to ask for some insight from her.
So let me go and then, so I feel you. I don't have that same apprehension. I know where my priorities are, and that's where I'm going to be. If you wanted to be able to do that and put that verbiage in, all you gotta do is make a motion. We get a second, we get a vote, or we get nothing, and we can go, then we go back to the other way. I don't have any problem, because I believe it's gonna pass.
The property tax?
No.
Oh.
The firefighters, making sure that the firefighters are in there. At least
Without the
I'm going to do
property.
everything I can to make sure that they are covered and that the budget cuts that we have been discussing in this past week are implemented so there's not a problem. So I understand your point. I'm not worried about funding the firefighters. I believe the funding will be there. It certainly will be from my standpoint. Everyone else can speak for themselves. So if you feel like that's something, if that verbiage is important and you want to stand on that point, that's fantastic. Make a motion and we'll go that way. Or if you want to discuss it some more, we can do that.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, this is new where we have to specify exactly what it's for.
Correct.
What constraints do we have as we specify that? Like operational needs? I mean, does that cover the specificity? What is it?
No.
So what we're setting aside is a specific amount of dollars in a separate fund, right? And we won't have authorization to spend any dollars in that fund until after the truth and taxation hearing. So if the council were to identify economic development, for instance, we could not spend any dollars on economic development until after the public hearing on August 11th. So these dollars are set aside in a separate account, not to be spent, not authorized to be spent. That's why this is an interim budget. After the truth and taxation hearing, then the city council can adopt a final budget, and that final budget could include the changes that you want. If you say, hey, we want to fund firefighters, great, we can. And that means something else will have to come out, but that will be the final budget at that point. Right now, it's just an interim budget, and it's a living document. It'll change, and it's expected to change. In fact, the budget can change throughout the year with budget amendments. But all of that has to come before the city council and be approved by you. So,
I guess maybe one other thought, just because once again, because we're setting the pot aside, if we changed it where the firefighters are approved, then Chief Rems could hire them on July 1st and start training them versus waiting until August 11th. Even if the firefighting station's not ready, you can still start hiring people and get them trained, can't you?
Well, we don't, it defeats the purpose, really. We need a spot for them to be. Could we hire people now? Sure, we could. The hiring process, it's going to take us some time to go through that hiring process anyway. We anticipated that we wouldn't bring on the firefighters until after the first quarter is over. So really, if we did the truth and taxation in August, we still have the same time that we planned on to bring on the firefighters.
So there's no benefit in starting the hiring process 6 weeks early? And I just find that a little bit hard to believe, and that's kind of my point, is if we could start hiring them July 1st versus August 11th, and start even the hiring process, and we know it takes a long time, I don't see why that is detrimental to our city versus putting money aside for, once again, economic development, and waiting until that money gets approved. Well, I don't know, I think that it's...
I mean, I appreciate it. I just feel like we're a little bit soapbox. You've spent a ton of time on it. I appreciate the time that's been put into it, honestly. It's more than I have, for sure. My concern with it is that last time we talked about how taking, sales tax dollars, and if I tell, well, it's only one, don't go to JCW's one time. Mm-hmm. Well, now all of a sudden, economic development, we're not worried about that? Like that's the concern that I have. It feels a little bit soapbox-ish, because a week ago, the conversation was, well, you can't tell me that, I can't go to JCW's because now we're going to worry about sales tax. Tonight, it's all about cut economic development because we don't need sales tax growth. That's right. I could make that argument if I was.
But that would not be right, because the public safety is still priority number one. And I'm saying that, and I agree with that. I'm not saying that it's not important. I'm not saying economic development is not my number one issue with the budget being too high. That's just something. I'm just saying that's a lower priority than the public safety. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm with you. And I'm telling you right now, I haven't asked I got an impression based on my conversation tonight. What Clark said tonight. Outside of that, I haven't spoken to anyone here on this council.
Yeah, we haven't discussed it as a group at all.
I would put whatever, I don't know, whatever you can put that's not illegal on it, that will be funded. I mean, I will.
Without the property tax increase.
It's certainly not where it's proposed at, I can promise you that, but at least that's
I
what
just
I'm
don't, I don't
telling
have
you.
that warm and fuzzy, I'll be honest. I don't have that warm and fuzzy that it's unanimous from the council.
We don't need a unanimity.
Well, I know we'd like to.
Unanimity?
But we do not.
Unanimity. Unanimity?
No,
Somebody help
we
me.
do not
No, it's
need it.
unanimity. You're good.
Am I right? Thank you.
No, I just, and that's fine, if we want to, it's definitely not soapboxy.
Well, I'm not even gonna ask count these two, because I don't know, but you clearly have a strong position on it. I'm telling you, I have a strong position on it. Sounds like Councilmember Taylor has a strong position on it. There's 3 of the 5 that we need, 3 of the 3 that we need. Hypothetically, it feels like to me that we're all in a very similar position. But admittedly, we could approve that in August, and we could come back in September and change it. But, I mean, budget amendments happen all the time.
Well, but I mean.
I'm telling you.
But how can you, I mean, if you approve wage increases in July 1st, you can't just go in September and say we're taking it back. And you can, sure, but that would have severe situation with the employees. So yes, you can, but that's not realistic. You're not gonna go and tell the library staff or the public works people, hey, we're giving you a 10% cut after we gave you one 2 months ago. So that's definitely not accurate.
And I guess that's the difference for me and you, or at least it feels like, that I don't necessarily feel like the wage increases is the drop dead end all to making sure that we can get this budget approved without a tax increase, or at very least a nominal tax increase. So that's, I guess, my point.
But I mean, the items that we've discussed are just things that are gonna have to be done next year.
Not entirely.
Well, that's kind of what it sounded like, that would have to be done eventually.
Well, there's definitely a risk. That's why I'm not in favor of a zero tax cut. But I'm
Zero
telling
tax
you-
increase.
Zero tax increase. Zero tax increase. But I am in favor of a significantly trimmed, we talked about a number that I think is a reasonable number. But again, to go through and I guess if you want to make a motion to make that change to the verbiage that still accommodates whatever the specificity is that we need to stay within bounds, I'm fine with that. I mean,
Can I also, I mean, this is maybe a tangent, I don't want us to get off all over, but this whole time I've been thinking, what is this economic development? And I just looked it up. It was a charge, it was a line item in 2024-25. It's zeroed on this
No, it's not. It's
budget.
$220,000. I can show you the page, it's 124.
Mine says.
It got reallocated to the planning, or to a separate division. So it was there.
22,000.
220,000. Yeah. That's almost the whole ask for the residential increase. And that's kind of my point. It's $220,000.
What do you mean that's the whole ask for the
It's
residential?
$330,000 for residents. And this one line item is $220,000.
660.
No, 330 for the residents. The rest is business. There's commercial
It's
and
not-
residential.
It's not split.
Is that correct? It's 330 for the residents and 330 for business?
It's not split evenly, no.
Well, I thought it was 330 for residents. Well, then, but they're still split, right?
Sure.
I mean,
It
probably.
depends on
Right.
the number
Everybody in
of
the city
parcels and the
is-
number of businesses in the
So what's the
city.
property tax for residents versus commercial?
I don't have that specific.
No, I thought it
number.
was like 30 for residents. Anyway, I think we want to pass it as is, and we feel very strongly that the fire department is not going to be impacted or dependent on the property tax increase, and I'm fine passing it as this is. I just also think in principle, like it's not semantics for me, I think it's very much, it's not soapboxy. This is something I take very seriously as somebody in the military especially, that they should have been the first thing in the budget, and other items should have been dependent on a property tax increase. I don't think it's semantics or soapboxy at all. But as I said, I'm fine to pass the motion as is.
Yeah. Councilmember Taylor, I don't remember what to call you, but I would move to. Clark, I would move to adopt the interim budget. Move to approve a resolution adopting the American Fork City interim budget for the fiscal year effective July 1st, 2026, and ending on June 30th, 2027, or after the date on which the taxing entity adopts the final budget. I have a motion from Councilman Hunter.
I'll second.
Second.
I have a second by Councilman Carroll. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
Mayor Pro Tem, one comment. Tim, I get where you're coming from. I don't have any heartburn either. I think as this shakes out, I totally support our public safety. It's going to be in there. I think this also gives us the opportunity to take another look at things. I want wages. We need to remain competitive. That's really important to me. Wages for our city staff is important. We're not ever going to be the highest. We don't plan on being the highest, but we need to be competitive. But that said, that public safety is going to be in there even if, no matter what we do. And this gives us a little bit more time. We're up against a hard deadline to look at it. And I'm going to hold my hand up with you guys and say public safety is going to be there. And it gives us another look to look and see if there's some other spots we want to look at for a property tax increase, so.
Okay, thank you. Any additional comments? Staff, anything? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Councilmember Hunter. Aye. Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly. Aye. Councilmember Taylor. I vote aye. Thank you. I appreciate the spirited dialogue as well. I appreciate the sentiment from everyone, so thank you. We'll now move on to item number 2, and that is receive a review of the resolution adopting the property tax impact schedule.
Thank you. Yes, per our new legislation requirements, we are required to review the property tax impact schedule, which we previously discussed and was approved by resolution several council meetings ago on May 12th. There should be no action on this item. It's just a review.
Any questions for Anna on the schedule? And that's all it is, folks. Just for all of you know, it's just a schedule. There's no tax increase being imposed this evening, so just so you know. Okay? Thank you, Anna. Double vacation time for you. Item number 3 is review and action. Review and action on an approval of a resolution amending the culinary water rates.
Okay, before you is a culmination of about a year and a half of work. We are, the last time that the rates were revised was, I believe, 2018, and so it's been a minute. We've engaged Bowen & Collins and Associates to conduct and present a rate study, so there's been a lot of discussion and analysis with this. We are before you is a proposed rate increase for the next 5 years. However, it will come back to you every year with the fee schedule to be approved each year moving forward. We did have one change from the agenda. The rate schedule as presented in the agenda, the Block 2 rate for our non-residential volume rates reads 402 to match the residential. We've discussed with Bowen & Collins the methodology behind that and recommend going back to the original recommended rate of, I believe it's 353 for Block 2 non-residential culinary rates for 2027. So that's the only change that I would recommend.
Thank you. Any questions for Anna?
Not a question as much as a comment. So in '05, when we started to look at the pressurized irrigation, the first thing we did was look at our culinary rates. And I was on that original committee with Mayor Heber Thompson and John Sheese and some other people, and we found to our dismay that we were not even paying for delivery of water rates. We were subsidizing. So we started this whole process, 21 years ago, and it's been a process all the way along. And this is what the state is looking at for that HB 501 that we work so hard. If as a city, if we are paying for our costs, if we are paying for our replacement costs for things that are in the ground, then that HB 501 won't affect us. So, but if we're not, then the state is going to impose it on us. And I think this is a great, I think we hit a good balance here. Yeah, our rates are going up, but I think this is a good balance because the state, if they force it down our throat, it's going to be more.
I think it's important to note also that everyone's rates are going up.
Everybody, yes.
This is not for just American Fork,
No.
so, as a result, so.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve the resolution amending the culinary water utility fees effective July 1st, 2026.
Thank you.
Councilmember John, would you say with the modification as stated on the record?
Thank you, Heather. With modification as stated on the record.
Thank you very much, Councilmember John. I have a motion for Councilmember John. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilmember Carroll. Are there any questions on the motion?
Can I just ask a quick question? There was a public comment by Royce earlier about the mapping and the fact that we haven't landed on that. And shareholders. For shareholders? Well,
No,
actually,
and
shareholders. The mapping is, the reason I bring it up is because there is a fee for that annually now. And I mean, that is a change that's not currently been handled, and it's not been an annual, I guess that my concern there is that there's what's going into the effort to are we going out there physically and actually
So
spending
that's always been
2
in
hours?
place, but it's not been on the fee schedule. We've just not implemented an annual renewal to determine if there's any mapping changes, and so that would be a new process. Not a new process, but it would actually be implementing a process already defined on the agreements.
Yeah, the mapping has been an agreement, and I pushed hard to make sure that that stayed there.
Correct.
What I'm saying though is that paying for a one-time fee to have it mapped, or any time it does change, paying for that effort to happen. What I'm not necessarily in favor of, and I'm just wanting to make sure that we're understanding that, is currently shows that every year, whether there is a change or not, you're paying $50 to look at it. And I don't know that there will be a look at fee, effort that transpires, and I guess that's what I'm asking for. What is going to take place for that $50 fee?
So we would work with GIS. This is all preliminary, and so we can certainly come back to council with that, but we would work with GIS to review that mapping every year. If there are changes, perhaps we can charge the fee, and that's subject to council's direction, however you want that to.
For me, I would have no problem having somebody pay a fee, especially if anything's changed, right? Or if there isn't, that needs to happen, right? I believe that needs to be covered by that individual. But my concern is that if it's a renewal fee for mapping and there's no mapping that takes place, it feels disingenuous to charge it if my
We
land
would
does not
have a
change.
system in place to have online mapping applications and to be able to do the workflows in a program that we already utilize for business licensing. Would be in that vein. The reason why we proposed a renewal fee is because it is tied to the utility rates as we move forward with irrigation usage, where it wasn't before. It was just a base charge. And so there is a tie-in to that utility usage based on if they're mapped or not. And so that's the rationale behind a renewal, is just to review those mapping if there's been any changes, because it's tied to potential irrigation rates.
Yeah. Again, I'm all in favor for paying for a mapping process. What I'm not in favor, I guess, of is you're paying for it whether there has been a change or not. And so the reality is there's a remapping and there's not going to be anything
Our
done.
thought is to have GIS review it every year regardless.
Which is an automated system?
Sort of, yes, as just an annual
Yeah.
renewal.
Yeah.
And again, there won't be all parcels mapped if that's the direction you want to go. It's just those that are requesting to be mapped.
Yeah.
And Councilmember, maybe that's not an annual thing, maybe it's biannual or every 5 years or some kind of a check.
I think speaking toward what Rob Shelton said is, I guarantee that if someone has less, Ryan, if they do xeriscaping and have less, they're gonna come to the city and say, I need to be remapped, and I'm more than willing to pay that $50 because I'm decreasing my base rate.
In 1 month.
Right, so I'm decreasing my base rate. The idea was that if people increased, that's what the mapping fee would, then GIS would look at it and go, oh, all of a sudden you've got a lot more green space than you had before.
Right, but they would have to have already been a mapped set.
Yes, that's correct.
The
They would have to
changes
be-
from that, that's what I'm getting at. So until we know that it changes, and the reality, we're talking a very small number that are actually going from.
The base rate to the mapped rate, right? Is that what you're talking?
That are in the map.
Right, that are in the mapped rate, correct.
It's just not a big number of individuals, and so to charge every one of those individuals every year is, to me, doesn't feel right. Charging them when it
Especially if
changes, if
nothing
it goes.
happens to there, if it just remains the way it is.
I just don't know how, I mean, $50 a month?
We can certainly look at that. It's, the
I would
idea
be-
is not to make money, but just to recover staff time
Yeah.
and cost
So
of
if
doing.
if we left it
these.
in there, that if there was any change, there'd be a $50 fee,
Or
or
we
even a
can take our-
$75 fee.
Yeah, whatever the fee is, if it has to be covered.
If it has to be,
To your point, yeah, maybe it is $75. I guess I'm to the point, I don't know what that is, and if it didn't change from last year, I
So
don't
if it didn't
necessarily.
change from last year, then there wouldn't be a charge.
There is, it's a.
I know, as it exists.
What I'm suggesting is
So
that
going forward, we eliminate that and say a change fee would be $75. It had to be
I'm fine.
remapped or anything
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
But it's just a one-time fee, basically. So it's a
For
one-time fee
that,
any
for
change.
that year, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not for that year until there was another
Yeah,
change.
just like whenever you have a change, it's like $50, $75.
Yeah.
It's just
Fine
not a
with that.
recurring fee if for the next 10 years,
Yeah.
your lawn doesn't change like.
Yes, that's what I'm.
No, yeah, and I agree.
So, council, we have a motion and a second on the floor. If we're looking at amendments to that, we need to resolve that motion before.
That's
and-
what I'm, that's
We are-
why, because we made an amendment to that motion.
No, we have to vote on this
Specifying the changes that were made on the public record, and that's what I'm suggesting with
Councilman-
this talk about this particular motion. is do we
Councilmember,
amend that?
sorry, it's also on the fee schedule, which is another action item as well.
That's what, so is it something that we would change the fee schedule or
Yeah,
the
seems
culinary
like it would
water
be on
rates?
the fee
So not the
schedule.
culinary water
Yeah.
rates. So a couple
Oh,
items.
I apologize then, I
Yeah.
am off my rock.
I mean,
was
it's
looking at
related.
that.
Well, we've all
It's
known that.
related, but, sure, we can, yeah, we can.
So yeah, for this, we don't need.
So-
It's the general fee schedule, 2 items.
So I'm going to go ahead and call for a vote
Never
on
mind
this.
then, I apologize for wasting everyone's time on this item.
We can talk about it later anyway.
I just, it's giving you a little precursor for two lines.
Seems a little soapbox issue in
Yes,
those
it
master
does.
rates, so.
Clearly.
We'll go ahead and have a call for a vote on the motion. Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor, I vote aye. Councilmember Hunter. Aye. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Thank you all very much. Once again, thank you for the spirited discussion. We're going to go on to item number 4. I'm having the time of my life tonight.
On
Yes.
item number 4, I need to state that I have a conflict of interest as I'm president of the American Fork Irrigation Company, and part of this from the pressure set, and I need to recuse myself from this next action item.
Okay, thank you very much. We will make note of that. I think you can stay here, Kenny.
No, state law says I have to sit down. I looked.
Well, you know how I feel about staying.
I know.
So,
It's on the-
get out of here. Okay, so any questions as we go over pressurized irrigation, much the same as we just discussed on culinary? Any questions for Anna or the staff?
Well, I guess maybe just to make sure, just to Mr. Shelley's point, and maybe we can make this change over the next 6 months, is what do we do with water shareholders? Is that built in here anywhere? What
Yeah, I
shareholder?
mean-
Heather, can I make a comment?
Yes,
You
you
recused
can.
yourself, you're not on the stand anymore.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I know you can.
Wait,
We're still
wait.
working on the shareholder portion.
Okay.
Okay,
It
so
might
there's nothing happening
Nothing is
tonight that's
changing.
going to preclude.
So we just make the
okay.
motion right now,
All
then throughout the next 6 months, we
Yeah.
kind of look at it, keep an
Or,
eye on it.
yeah, or it could stay the
Well,
same.
and ultimately,
We would bring any
Yeah.
changes back to council for approval if needed.
we will make that.
Mayor Pro Tem, could I make a comment there? So we've been working with the irrigation company on updating the shareholder agreements. This is one of the issues that Mr. Shelley brought up. That will be brought back to the city council for consideration at a future council meeting. And the board for the irrigation company will also consider those changes together. So
Very good.
that's coming to a meeting within the next month or two.
I can't wait. How about that, Royce? We're moving. Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve the resolution adopting the PI utility fees effective January 1st, 2027.
We have a motion from Councilmember Holly. Second.
Oh, I thought
Second.
I thought you were gonna strike the thing that you had a problem with.
Well, that's not.
No, that's on the fix.
Oh, that's
That'll be on
the next.
fee schedule.
I thought this was the fee schedule.
Hey, I feel like I've been. I missed it at first. I didn't miss it second.
Oh, I went straight to it like next time. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call for roll call. I want everyone to be calm. I want everyone to be calm. We're voting on secondary pressurized irrigation rates. Is everyone clear where we are? Yep. In the audience, is everyone clear where we are? We're ready to go forward.
I do want to state that these are not going into effect yet until January.
Till January, that is
Yeah.
correct. Thank you for that clarification and the confusion on other things, Councilmember Carroll. Here we go, a roll call vote. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor votes aye. Councilmember John is abstained. Go ahead and cross that off there. Councilmember Hunter. Aye. Councilmember Hawley.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 5. Ernie, please return to the dais.
Thank you.
Now, let's go ahead and talk about the general fee schedule.
Oh, wow. We're
Review.
really-
I don't know if you guys know how I feel about this. So, I would propose, it's not a motion, but I would propose that we eliminate the $50 yearly renewal fee, and we would implement a $75 change fee on the mapping.
Fine. Remind me how all fees, they're all analyzed, right? I mean, at some point, we're gonna have some context.
Yeah,
on
they're
what
just
that
cost
looks like.
recovery only. We
Yeah.
analyze staff time and other ancillary costs that go into this.
Perfect. I would make that motion that we approve the resolution establishing the fiscal year 26-20.
I'm sorry, at one point, we did have a change based on the action item 3 for the Block 2
Yep.
culinary rate to 353.
353.
353.
Now you know why I was confused, because it was also a part of the other one. I feel better, but,
We need to make both of those.
yeah, I move to approve the resolution establishing the fiscal year 26-27 general fee schedule with the adjustment to the Block 2 rate to a $3.53, as was mentioned on the public record, as well as changing or removing the mapping annual fee of $50 and making it a mapping fee when
Requested.
change fee, mapping change fee at $75.
I'll second.
Are we okay over there? Heather, no consternation. You've
Did we
seen
make
a
it?
little, okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any additional discussion on the motion? All right, we'll have a roll call vote. Never mind. Councilmember Hawley.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter. Aye. Councilmember Taylor votes aye. Councilmember John.
Aye.
Thank you.
Can somebody bring me a Snickers next week?
We are going to item number 6, review and action on an ordinance approving a proposed zone change known as American Fork Hotel located at approximately 714 South, 600 East, consisting of 3.13 acres. The property proposes to change from the PI1 zone, PI1 zone to the GC2 zone. Any questions for staff? Patrick, come on up.
Just in case the zone change name wasn't a good enough hint, you kind of might get the idea of what they're looking to do with the zone change.
Yeah, it was pretty clear on that, yeah.
Okay.
I'm guessing a hotel, but that just might be me.
No.
Any questions for Patrick on this motion, or on this, on this agenda item?
I will add that normally when you bring through some of these, there's a land use aspect of it. The land use, the underlying land use is already what would be needed for that. All of that area along there already has that. The planned industrial use is not the highest and best use for that frontage along I-15.
Very cool.
Okay. I move to adopt the ordinance approving the proposed zone change located at approximately 714 South 600 East, am I on the right one? American Fork City from the PI1 zone to the GC2 zone.
Thank you, Councilmember Carroll.
Second.
We've got a second from Councilmember John. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will have a roll call vote. Councilmember Hawley.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor votes aye. Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 7, review and action on a resolution approving a proposed land use amendment known as Dixie Well, 943 South, 900 West, located at approximately 943 South, 900 West, consisting of .78 acres. The property proposes to change from a residential very low density land use designation to the industrial land, schools, and public facilities land use designation. Any questions for Patrick on this? Pretty straightforward. And vital.
I will make a motion to adopt the resolution approving the proposed land use map amendment located at approximately 943 South, 900 West, American Fork City, from the residential very low density land use designation to the institutional land, schools, and public facilities land use designation.
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carroll. We have a second from Councilmember Holly. Is there any additional discussion on this motion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote. Councilmember Hunter. Aye. Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor votes aye. Thank you very much. Item number 8, review and action on an ordinance approving a proposed zone change known as Dixie Well, 943 South, 900 West, located approximately 943 South, 900 West, consisting of .078 acres. 0.78 acres. The property proposes to change from the PR 3.0 zone to the PF zone.
I move to adopt the ordinance approving the proposed zone change located at approximately 943 South, 900 West, American Fork City, from the PR 3.0 zone to the PF zone.
Second.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Carroll. Have a second from Councilmember Holly. Any further discussion on this motion? Hearing none. Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor votes aye. Councilmember Hunter. Aye. Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Item number 9, review and action on a resolution approving a proposed land use map amendment known as 13-059-0130 and 13-059-031. Luma, L-U-M-A, located at approximately 375 South, 860 East, consisting of 1.96 acres. The property proposes to change from the planned community land use designation to the design commercial land use designation. Any questions for Patrick?
This one, can you just give me an overview of what this is?
Sure. So a couple months ago, brought forward an area of the city that we were trying to do a larger zone change, land use map amendment update for just off of State Street. Taking a little bit longer for us to get through with all of that, but the applicant came forward, and I've been working with Mark and Brian for the last year on kind of their proposal, and we run the risk of losing a good economic development opportunity in the city if we try to keep this small piece a part of the larger overall change that we're looking to do. So we're just trying to peel that out right now for a parcel in there that they're changing from our planned community, not viable as a planned community development. It's a minimum of 100 acres for the master plan for that. This is way below that. But a good general commercial use in their GC1 use. So we're just looking at updating the land use and the general plan, or the land use and the zoning for the parcels in here. There is one parcel involved in this that's not a part of their proposal, but it is what helps us have a contiguous area, and it makes sense as well for that zone to, or for that land use and zone to change, because it's not ever going to be able to be developed or a part of a master plan community under the PC zoning. So we're trying to do a little bit of tidy up, but also on an economic development front, we run the risk of losing a good business if we don't take action on this and a good project. Brian's a great developer, has got some good projects in the city and some good businesses in the city, and I think it's important that we keep it here, and we don't want to lose it to our neighbors.
I'm super excited, sorry to interject, but I'm super excited about this one. The improvements on that road are going to be much needed. The blight that's currently there, I mean, it's exactly what needs to go in there. Talking with the team, and it's a great fit in my opinion. It's a solid project. So, and to Patrick's point, I like kind of defining the continuity of that existing area. Sort of is the boundary line.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Any additional questions? I'd move to.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'd move to adopt the resolution approving the proposed land use map amendment located at approximately 375 South, 860 East, American Fork City, from the planned community land use designation to the design commercial land use designation.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Hunter.
Second.
Second from Councilmember John. Any further discussion? We will vote, have a roll call vote. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor votes aye. Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 10. Like unto that, I'd move to adopt the ordinance approving the proposed zone change located approximately 375 South, 860 East, American Fork City, from the PC and GC2 zones to the GC1 zone. Thank you, Councilmember Hunter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember John. Any further discussion? Thank you. We'll have a roll call vote. Councilmember Holly. Aye. Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor's aye. Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Thank you. You're a fine individual, Patrick O'Brien. I don't care what Sam says. Item number 11, review and action on the award of contract for the Dixie Well Drilling Project to Hydro Resources Rocky Mountain, Inc. So clearly we have the property that we needed, and now we are awarding the contract. Sam, is there anything that we need to cover? Are you looking for me to invite you forward to speak anyway? I know how you appreciate the pulpit.
Do you guys have any questions?
Any questions for Sam?
We've been working on this for a long time to get this well down on the south side, on the lake side, so we need it. Mayor Pro Tem, I move that the city award the Dixie Well Drilling Project in the amount of $2,327,733 to the responsible low bidder, Hydro Resources Rocky Mountain, Inc., and approve the construction contract as presented, in addition to a project construction and engineering contingency in the amount of $200,000 to be held by the city.
Thank you very much, Councilmember John. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Holly. Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilmember Hunter. Aye. Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
And Councilmember Taylor votes aye. Thank you. Item number 12, review and action on a resolution approving a cooperative agreement between American Fork City and Utah Department of Natural Resources, Division of Wildlife Resources for funding to replace docks at the American Fork Boat Harbor. Thank you, Sam. You're a fine individual yourself. Derek, would you like to speak to this? Is this something that any questions from the council?
I guess my only question is, how much is the total cost of the project?
How much will it fund?
How much?
Well, I can see how much funding is here. How much is the cost of the project?
It'll be right about there. That should cover the full cost.
Well, there's park funds too.
We have 27,000. So we'll replace the existing docks completely, and then we'll repurpose the existing docks on the other side of the harbor for kayaks and paddleboards and swimming. So whatever we have
That's very cool.
left, we'll be able to add swimming platforms and kayak launches.
Okay, wow, this is a great.
Our boat harbor is
grant.
really coming along. It's
That's a
awesome.
great
This is
grant.
the beauty of park, like, not the soapbox, I apologize.
No, it's soapbox away.
It's the perfect example of what park tax money can be done. Like, you're taking $27,000 and you're getting the benefit of essentially $200,000 worth of it. That I love.
You love it enough to make a motion.
I would love to make a motion to adopt a resolution approving the cooperative agreement and authorize the mayor to sign the cooperative agreement with Utah Department of Natural Resources, Division of Wildlife Resources, to accept grant funding to replace the docks at the American Fork Boat Harbor.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion from Councilmember Hunter. We have a second from Councilmember Holly. Would anyone else like to expound or talk about their joys of the boat harbor? Or anything on this motion? Okay, hearing none, I'll have a roll call vote. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor votes yes. Councilmember Hunter.
Yes.
Councilmember Holly.
Yes.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Thank you. Review and action on item number 13, review and action on the approval of an agreement with the American Fork Chamber of Commerce for the management of the Still Days celebration. Any questions on our agreement or anything that we need to go over with staff?
I have a quick question. Is this for 2026 or is this, so this is just for this Steel Days coming up?
When does it terminate?
So it's in effect for 3 years, but it has to be approved annually by the city council. This is The agreement as proposed by staff and can be modified by the city council has not yet been considered by the Steel Days in the chamber organization.
So this is what we're presenting to the chamber?
Yes.
So when it comes to the year, can you make changes, or is that just like, it can only be changed at the 3-year mark or it's terminated?
No, the agreement can be amended, but,
Okay.
yeah, but it has to be reviewed annually. So essentially up to 3 years with an annual renewal. But if the council wants to make a modification to that, that's absolutely fine.
If I could, I'd just love to point out a couple of things that I would like to see with this. I don't like doing it the month that these guys are killing themselves to try, and I say it the wrong way, but literally, we're in the throes of still days, and we're like, hey, let's go hurry and get a contract done. I would love to see that annual renewal, whatever the renewal is, that it happened at the end of this season. So I can't remember, you guys, sorry to ask for an audience, but we have a report that you guys provide in October?
So you requested by November 1st, we have to provide within 30 days of the request.
Okay, so let's say, that's what I'm proposing. So we get that information whenever, so no later than November 30th or whatever. And then analyze, that would be the appropriate time in my mind.
December,
Because
renew it.
So in the first meeting in December, we would vote to renew this contract, or
consider, yeah, but
That's a
that,
good point, because we
it
don't
allows
wanna
them to
wait
make
until-
changes, it allows us to make, I mean, right now, they're just working in good faith, which is not, I mean, we appreciate that, but
The current contract says it automatically renews.
We need you to come up so we can hear your comments on the record, Rob.
By Josh Watt,
that was my fault, sorry.
By the way, I was remiss in my comments last when we talked about the Board Harbor, and I would like to tell Derek Reichert that he too is a fine individual.
Josh Walker, I'm with the Chamber of Commerce. So my understanding is the current contract reads is it will automatically renew if neither party renegotiates by, I think it was October 1st of last year. So I don't know that we really care necessarily about that, except that we are working in good
Yeah.
faith on Steel Days this year, so.
So, yeah, please, for the sake of my life, nobody change the thing for this year. I'm saying, let's bump this up so that it happens no later than the first council.
So we
council
take
meeting in
action on this the
December.
first council meeting in December.
Something like that,
Okay,
December.
That's
doable?
pretty easy to add in the motion, just to change the term of use
Yeah.
to starting.
I would love for it to be annual too. I don't know why there's a 3-year, like,
Well, it's a 3-year, but we have the option as a council to change anything in that every year when we go through that renewal.
Is it automatically approved though, or, so we have
No,
to
it's
approve
not.
it every year?
but that's my
Right.
point. So just, that's all I'm saying. I don't know that what a 3-year thing, if we've got to approve it every year, then let's renew the contract every year in the first council meeting in December.
Okay, so let me just make sure I'm clear with what Councilmember Hunter is proposing. The contract will be effective when the mayor signs it this year, and it will be renewed or considered for renewal annually after the November 30th reporting is done. Okay,
Ideally in the first December meeting. I mean, because in theory, you could be, again, finding ourselves in the middle of June renewing the contract because it was after the November 30th deadline. I would prefer that it happen like for every party, that it be in the December meeting, no later than the December meeting.
And they start like
Yeah, they're-
working on stuff in
Yeah, I
January.
mean, and
So-
this is for everyone's benefit because
Yeah,
nobody wants to find out in May that they got to pull this thing off in 30 days and didn't know they were doing it. Or you've been working on it for 5 months and find out you're not doing it. That'd be even worse. Well, maybe.
so that would give the council and the chamber 30 days to negotiate that contract with the anticipation it would be executed before the end of the calendar year for the upcoming.
Yeah.
I mean, a calendar year means nothing to us.
Because it's we have, again, if I understood you correctly, Josh, we have to notify you that we need it by November 1st, giving you 30 days' notice to provide it. Is there a way we can say you just provide it by no later than October 30th? I mean, I don't know what the deadline takes, but and let's just say you provide a report will be provided to the council by the end of October, therefore giving us a little more cushion than 30 days.
And the earlier you provide that report, the earlier we can go.
There's budget and expenses and things.
Yeah, they're tailing
They're
in.
just kind of rolling.
I'm
in
not
still.
saying speed it up, I'm just saying, that would help.
But if that feels comfortable, I think, let's try and get this done last fall, not now.
Well, just to clarify on your statement, so we would want the mayor pro temp to sign the contract this time, because we did have a change in the chamber leadership, so we don't want the mayor involved in any of the negotiations, so.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Okay?
So how do we, I support that, how do we word it so that we get it done?
Just say we move.
Do you want me
Can I
to
make,
try and do my
motion as
best?
the mayor pro tem? Can I do that? Is that legal?
Let's have another
Yeah, let's
member
have
of
somebody else
the
do it.
council.
I'll do my best. Somebody help me if I mess up, but I'd move to approve the agreement between the American Fork City and the American Fork Chamber of Commerce for the management of the Steel Day celebration with the 2026, with the caveat that there be a reporting to the council for the most recently completed Steel Days celebration no later than the end of October, and it be annually
And it will be renewed by
renewed
the
or
city
considered
council.
for renewal by the December,
First council meeting.
first council meeting in December.
Actually, the only council meeting.
That, well, yeah, only. Is that, did I cover it all?
I think that was convoluted enough, wasn't it?
I mean, somebody can record
I
it.
think that's adequate. I'll be able to make the changes to the contract.
Pro tem sign it.
Oh, yeah.
That's any contract.
Okay.
It's already on here anyway. It says, yeah.
Second.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion from Councilmember Hunter, a second from Councilmember Holly. Any further discussion? Boy, you hate to see it end, don't you? Okay. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor. Aye. Councilmember Hunter. Aye. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to item number 14, which is adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Have a motion from Councilmember John.
I'll
A second from Councilmember Carroll. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for being here this evening. Appreciate your input. For that matter, you're all fine individuals. Thanks for coming.